Okay, g'day everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Kangaroo Science in Salzburg. This time around, we're going to try and get this thing going right. I've got an experiment with a needle, glass of water, and I'm going to try and see if I can float this needle on the glass of water. Now, let's see if we manage. Right. This time it seems to be working okay. Now, hopefully the camera doesn't die on me. I've got here a toothpick, and I've just dipped it into some washing up liquid. And what we can do is, if we move the toothpick just to dip a tiny bit into the water, we see the toothpick, the needle is pushed away. And if hopefully you can see this nicely in the film, and if we put the toothpick in for long enough, at some stage the soap is going to reduce the surface tension of the water enough such that the needle is no longer able to stay on the surface of the water and will sink to the bottom. We've obviously got a needle which is behaving really well here. All the other needles, you can see the other 10 needles in the bottom of the glass where I couldn't get the thing to float. Now, there we go. So what's happening is that the soap is reducing the surface tension of the water, and a bit like these water boatmen beetles that float around on the water, what's happening is that the surface tension is holding the pin up, and that or the needle up. But of course, you've got to be fairly steady-handed to be able to put this thing in place. So that's a fairly easy and relatively time-consuming experiment that you can do with kids. The other thing you can do is you can take a glass of water. So we've got this glass of water here, and we'll just fill it up right to the brim, right to the top. Still a bit of paper in there from trying to set up this experiment. And then we can do the following things. We can start taking paper clips, and we just start placing the paper clips in there. And if you've got it filled up to the brim, you can ask the nice experiment, or the question to your kids. What's going to happen if you start putting paper clips in? And you put more and more paper clips in. I'll put some more in. And we keep on going. More paper clips. And more paper clips. And more paper clips. And eventually you'll start seeing that the meniscus of this water glass is going to be such that the water is sitting above the level of the rim of the glass. And this is quite neat, especially when you look at it from the side, because you can see this beautiful, shiny, round surface sitting above the glass, which, at least for our kids, was completely unexpected. Perhaps as an adult you get used to this, but it's probably not surprising. But it's quite a nice, neat thing to do. And now we've got, I don't know, 100 or so paper clips. You can do it with any sort of smallish object that doesn't splash too much. And if you touch the side of the glass, you can see that the water starts running down the side of the glass and causing the meniscus to go down. So it's, again, very simple experiment. You can do another similar experiment to the experiment that we did with the needle. Again, toothpick sitting on a surface of water. If you bring a toothpick with a bit of dishwashing liquid on it, you can push the other toothpick away, just with the fact that the soap solution changes the local surface tension. And if you have the two different surface tensions on either side of the toothpick, the one with the higher surface tension is going to pull more, it's more tense, and pulls the toothpick towards it, whereas the side with a lower surface tension will spread out. At least that's one way of understanding it. Okay, with that, that very simple experiment that took me a bit, I wish you all the very best, and we'll see you another time soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Got a needle here, and we're going to see if we can get this needle floating on the surface of the... Hopefully it's not too oily. I place the paper on the sewing needle, on the water, sewing needle on the water, and now when we manage to do this, we have a pin floating on the water. And this one's not working either. Place it on the surface, the kitchen paper on the surface of the water, the needle on the surface of the water, and the needle sinks right down to the bottom.